Welcome back to the Florida CME Group here, Tuesday, May 31st, last day in May. I'm Killer from Treasury Curve. Got cash? We can help. Let's look at this market, folks. You know, last week we had a pretty lackluster sideways trade, and now over the weekend we had some developments in Greece. You know, this continued Eurozone situation. Germany, the thoughts were initially they were going to forgive these restrictions they put on, therefore providing then some cash, letting the IMF come in, provide that big number they need so they're not truly insolvent. But all it is, folks, is kicking the can further down the road. So is Greek insolvent? You tell me, let me know. But I think they're going to get this cash. I think it's going to be resolved. Nonetheless, the euro currency is really liking it. We're seeing a big pop in the stock market overnight. You know, the Dow Jones was up about 125 this morning. But currently, we're seeing this little pop and drop. So, you know, is this going to be a sell it in May and walk away? Let me know. You know, we're kind of looking at this market continues to sit in this band in this S&P. Meanwhile, they continue to grab treasuries. You know, we're seeing the 30-year, you know, back up on its highs today, making another new high. So they keep on grabbing these treasuries despite the fact that all these markets are moving up. We're seeing commodities, we're seeing oil. You know, in this S&P, you know, we have a long way to go. But this 1325 and a quarter, which if you recall, was an old low. That's currently coming at the 50-day moving average. Weekly pivot slightly underneath that at 1322, and the 100-day, which I think is all important, down to 1311. And no doubt about it, we're not going to hit any of those probably today, but that 1325 and a quarter has been a nice level for us. And obviously the 1338 killer pivot has been tremendous. You know, we're currently rocking around that right now as we speak. But I think this crude oil move, you know, I've tweeted this number 103.44. I think a lot of people are saying, why are you putting this threshold out here? I think it's an important threshold, and we came up to it. We missed it by 5 ticks this morning. So 103.39 is the high in the crude oil. We've kind of come off about a full dollar since then. So I think that, you know, that's being stoked over there. Look at Yemen. There's a lot of problems in the Middle East. So these problems persist. Nonetheless, the bulls, you know, we're in a holding pattern here. So I think as the market continues to look for clarity, I think this is the week we get some data. You know, obviously we have the ISMs, we have manufacturing, we have housing, but the all-important king of all numbers, unemployment. And there's already convolution talk about the unemployment number. McDonald's had a big hiring spree, so there's a $62,000 number involved in there. So there's already talk about, is this the true number of the expected 180,000? So hopefully, folks, you have some volatility this week and you have some volume. I wish you good luck. Let's keep an eye on these numbers despite the fact they are not beholden to the market here. The market's going to go where it wants to go. So hopefully we get some volatility for you. From the floor of the CME Group, I'm the Killer. Remember one thing this week, be the hammer, not the nail.